How do you draw the line between those
Yeah.
things? And how do we ensure that the muscles that we're building for this future are stronger and not weaker? The goal of what I'm trying most to learn about is how we can structure the technologies that we use in the future to get toward this future I think you're imagining of more human connection in more ways. And so I think that end of the spectrum is something like technologies that really measurably unlock our humanity because they remove a struggle between people. And then on the other end of the spectrum, there are a lot of educational things, for example, where the struggle is kind of the point. Right? And so my question is, if you think about that as a spectrum between things that are really important to our humanity and the struggle being removed is helpful versus things where the struggle is the point and it unlocks something about our humanity and is important to preserve, like building a muscle. How do you draw the line between those things, and how do we ensure that the muscles that we're building for this future are stronger and not weaker?
I mean, I think that there's some things that you need to be able to do yourself. I think that that's a lot of the basic fear that people have around this.
I agree with that.
Is that while we're building these amazing tools, we get away from this self-confidence and ability of being able to do like this basic stuff yourself. So it's like, all right, you have a calculator, but it's still good to be able to do kind of basic math in your head because there are a lot of things that come up throughout the day that you just want to have a general numeracy around, right? That often they're not expressed in numerical terms, but just in terms of understanding trends or understanding arguments that people are making, you kind of need to understand the shape of how numbers come together. And so I think one of the big debates is like, should we still teach our kids to program computers? Even though you're going to have these tools in the future that are just so much more powerful than anything that we have now to produce incredibly complicated pieces of software, I think the answer to that is probably yes, because I think teaching someone how to code is teaching them a way to think rigorously. And that even if they're not doing most of the code production, I think it's important that you kind of have the ability to think in that way. And I think it's going to just make you generally a better thinker and better person. I think this is one of the interesting questions about parenting these days is like, is just kind of like what's important to teach your kids in an era where so much is going to change over the time that they're even in school. Language, I think you can make similar arguments.